Number one is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So what we want to do is we want to use the extended ratio 1 root 3, 2. And again, this is for the short leg, long leg, hypotenuse. So the short leg of this triangle is y, the long leg is x, and the hypotenuse is 3 root 3. Separating that into its individual proportions, we will have 1 over y equals 2 over 3 root 3. And the other proportion will be root 3 over x equals 2 over 3 root 3. Solving each of these proportions, we will have 2y equals 3 root 3. Dividing both sides by 2, and you will get a y value of 3 root 3 over 2. For my x value, I will cross multiply and I will get 2x equals 3 root 3 times root 3. 2x will be root 3 times root 3 is going to be root 9. Two x will be, the square root of 9 is 3, so we will have 3 times 3. 2x will equal 9. Dividing both sides by 2 will give me an x value of 4.5. Number 2 is another 30, 60, 90 triangle, so we will use the extended ratio 1 root 3 over 2, 1 root 3, 2. And again, just as a reminder, this is the short leg, this represents the long leg, this represents the hypotenuse in the extended ratio. And from our triangle, that would be x, y, and 2 root 5. My proportions will be 1 over x equals 2 over 2 root 5, and root 3 over y equals 2 over 2 root 5. Cross multiplying will give me 2x equals 2 root 5. Dividing both sides by 2 will give me x root 5. Cross multiplying this proportion would give me 2y equals 2 root 15. Dividing both sides by 2 will give me y equals root 15. Number 3 is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. We will use the extended ratio 1 to root 3 to 2. In my triangle, that will be y, 18, and x. My separated proportions will be 1 over y equals root 3 over 18, and root 3 over 18 equals 2 over x. Cross multiplying will give me y root 3 equals 18. Dividing both sides by root 3 will give me y equals 18 over root 3. We must rationalize this denominator because we're not allowed to have a radical in the denominator of a fraction. Multiplying by root 3 will give me y equals 18 root 3 over 3, and 18 divided by 3 is 6 root 3. Cross multiplying this would give me x root 3 equals 36. Dividing both sides by root 3 would give me 36 over root 3, and again rationalizing the denominator would give me an x value of 36 root 3 over 3, and 36 divided by 3 is 12. So we would get 12 root 3 for our hypotenuse. Number 4 is another 30, 60, 90 triangle, so we will use 1 root 3, 2. My short leg of this triangle is root 6. My long leg is x, and my hypotenuse is y. Separating it into its individual pieces, I will have 1 over root 6 equals root 3 over x, and 1 over root 6 equals 2 over y. Cross multiply my first proportion will give me x equals root 18. This radical can be simplified. 18 can be thought of as root 9 root 2. And the square root of 9 is 3. And root 2 remains square root of 2. Cross multiplying this proportion, I will get y equals 2 root 6. And there is nothing else I can do with that problem. So the answer for y is 2 root 6. Number 5 is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So since our legs are the same in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, once I've solved for x, I have essentially solved for y as well. My ratio for a 45, 45, 90 triangle as a result will only include a leg and the hypotenuse. I only need one of the legs because they're the same thing. There's no need to repeat the process. So what I'll do is I'll choose either x or y and solve for them. I'll choose x in this particular case. So I would have x over 8. When I cross multiply, I would have x root 2 equals 8. Dividing both sides by root 2, I would get x equals 8 over root 2. Rationalizing this denominator, I would have 8 root 2 over 2, and 8 divided by 2 would be 4. So my final answer would be 4 root 2. Since x is 4 root 2, y is also 4 root 2 as a result of this being a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Number 6 is another 45, 45, 90 triangle, so we would use 1 root 2 as our extended ratio. The leg is y. If you look at this problem, since we know that this leg is 2 root 2, that means that this leg must also be 2 root 2. So we've solved for y before we've even done anything. Y must be 2 root 2 as well. The leg in the ratio will be 2 root 2, and my hypotenuse will be x. As a result of cross multiplication, we would have x equals 2 root 2 times root 2. X would be 2 root 4. The square root of 4 is 2. So x will equal 4. Number 7 is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So as a result, we will use the extended ratio 1 root 2. Since I have one of the legs, I have already solved for x, which is root 3. My extended ratio will be 1 to root 2, and then the denominator of this would be root 3 to y. Cross multiplying this would give me y equals root 2 times root 3, which is root 6. And finally, number 8 is also a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So I will use the ratio 1 to root 2. In my diagram, that would be, again, I can choose x or y. I'll choose x. That would be x to 12. Cross multiplying the proportion 1 over x equals root 2 over 12 would give me x root 2 equals 12. Divide both sides by root 2, and I will get x equals 12 over root 2. I must rationalize this denominator so that I would have 12 root 2 over 2 and this cancels to be 6 root 2. So x would be 6 root 2.